page 291, item 15.1, Matai Street East, part A of the joint report of the chairpersons of the Riccarton, Wigram, Fendalton, Waimairi and Hagley Ferrymead community boards. Do any of those chairpersons want to speak to it? If not, I'll just take it. Okay, so you have the report before you on page 15. And do I have a mover, Phil? Yeah. Do you want some questions first?
Some staff.
Are there any of the staff here? Or do we have to pick on Mike? No, Richard's here. Richard and Terry. And the other one. Thank you. Yanni, did you have a question?
I was just concerned that in the deputation it had been pointed out that part of the proposal was on Crown land or Ministry of Education land, and I just think we need to be really clear about that point. So if you could maybe just explain if that's the case, and if so, what consultation has occurred.
I can't at this point in time confirm the Crown land. There was quite a land exchange that occurred in the past for Christchurch Girls High School and the access into Mona Vale, and the tennis courts on the western end of Christchurch Girls High on land that is to be, or the courts are to be open for public use. So I'd have to go back through the property files and just check the how all that land swap occurred in the past.
In terms of the current design that we're being asked to approve today, is any of that going over the Crown land?
It's our understanding that it's on legal road, and part of what may be referred to as Crown land is the legal road into Mona Vale. No, it's on road, but we will check out if there's a wee bit of Crown land. We will check that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Jimmy and then Phil.
One question, because based on deputation, they recommend defer, this kind of decision making for this section until the end of November. Up to now, probably 4 months, even they can be a little bit earlier. So based on staff, your point of view, have any the kind of big impact if defer for 4 months?
Yes.
Well, it just simply delays the project.
Again, yeah. Glenn. Oh, sorry, Phil, you were next then, Glenn.
My question really is about, say, future discussions with the school and in connection with their proposals. I'm assuming that we could confirm the cycleways today, and that wouldn't preclude the school approaching council about clarifying any possible further use of the street. And I am aware that that included like a request for a partial street closure. But I'm assuming, in fact, the council are open to further discussions with the school.
Yeah, I can confirm that. I think our proposal is that we continue with the plans for the cycleway as we set out. But we're quite happy to talk with the Ministry of Education in terms of the future use and how that sits against the street. And if there's the odd modification and things like that required, we'll work with the school to do that.
Okay, thank you. Glenn was next.
Thank you. As we all know, it was delays such as this which we received pushback on, which were first built into the proposed rollout. So can you please tell me how long this this would delay the rollout of this project in terms of months?
Well, it would delay it until that master plan was put up and agreed. So
any idea?
It could be, well, I think they're suggesting November, but reality is that the construction wouldn't really start until probably February 2015, because by the time you roll into Christmas, so it would just delay the thing by about 6 months.
10 delays of 6 months each, or yeah. Okay, thank you.
I acknowledge somebody next. Was it you, Pauline?
And if we were to proceed with this project, when would it commence? When are we due to start?
November commence. Yeah, the aim is to start construction in November.
To be ready to
So
construct?
as we have the advantage of the summer construction season, and also for the bulk of that to happen while schools are on holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Paul, did you have your hand up? No, Yanni?
I still was just on the deputation that we received, the Crown land that's suggested is Dean's Ave and Matai Street. So are you adamant or absolutely confident that where we've got the proposed footpath going through there, that's not something that, I mean, it's not Crown land, or it is Crown land?
No, we'll have to double check that, yeah.
So if it is Crown land, where does that leave us in terms of this project?
Mike just wants to make a statement.
We can modify the design to sneak outside that Crown land if that is the case, without changing the principles of the alignment. It's just a detailed design adjustment.
The cycleway is on that side, is on the west, on the southern side, outside the Crown land.
That's the
There's a
existing
current-
footpath.
There's an existing footpath there now which people use.
But that's just existing, so.
Yeah. So there's access all along there, along Dean's Ave, footpath well used, down to Fendalton Road. The school uses it, everybody uses it, but the cycleway is outside the Crown land.
Right,
Okay.
thank you. That's what I was waiting to hear.
And can I just be clear about the road closure? What I can't understand is if that's going to be an option going forward, that would obviously have a big impact on the cycleway. So,
Well, we don't see how we can have a road closure when you've actually got people and access
yeah.
properties.
So what's the process for resolving those requests from the school? Are we going to get a report to council, and what's the timeframe for that?
I think we would, as I said earlier, we'll work with the school in terms of what they want to achieve, in terms of their master plan, and where if that then impacts on the road in any way, then we will bring that information back.
My understanding is that they've approached us with 4 options already, and they're waiting to get feedback from us. And I presume it's because before they do the master plan, they want to know how far they can go in terms of road closure and sell off of the road. But is there a process by which that can be determined in the short term? Because it seems like that's something we heard today. I don't know if you heard the deputation. It seemed to me that they'd said that they had approached us already and were waiting for us to respond.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been privy to those discussions. Matai East is a very important road in terms of it's already been traffic calmed. There's a lot of angled parking, as you probably realise, along there for the school and for the auditorium youth. In terms of us being comfortable about closing or partially closing Matai Street East, I'd say we wouldn't be. Definitely it's a strong access link for the high school, and it's also a strong access link through to Mona Vale. So from our perspective, it's a road that we would want definitely to keep open.
Sorry?
There's an outstanding process that
Sorry,
isn't
are
covered
you
in this
addressing a
report.
question or starting the debate?
No, it's just in terms of getting a conclusion to the question, which is, what is the process by which we make a call as a council or a community board over the future of Matai Street in terms of the school's proposals that they've put forward?
It would be our normal council processes that if anything is to change on that road, we would go through the normal process, community board and council.
Okay. Thank you.
That concludes the questions. Phil has moved. Actually, I'm happy to second the recommendation that's here. I am absolutely adamant that we need to get on with these cycleways. If there was one thing that came through strongest in the annual plan, it was the desire of the Christchurch public to see these cycleways completed or even started would be good. This is the cycleway that also leads out to the university. It will have huge use. There is a large number of cyclists coming into that school. and I think their safety matters enormously as well. I'm happy that we work with the school around alternatives, but I'm not happy to delay these cycleways now or later or at any time. Phil?
I'm urging councillors to support the recommendations. I think around this, as Vicky has indicated, there was very strong requests, large number of requests from the community that we get on and get these cycleways done. If we delay this, this will be slower than business as usual for cycleways. And I think we've had a clear indication. In fact, part of the submission today is really about a possible delay due to possible purchase of Matai Street. And we've heard from the staff that, in fact, Matai Street is not a goer in terms of possible closure. There's huge traffic congestion problems on Riccarton Road. The cycleway here will make travelling to school safer for cyclists, and that's something that clearly the school acknowledged that they have concern about too. So we cannot possibly delay this, and I'm urging councillors to support the recommendations.
Thank you. I urge you all to support this as well. While we have to act reasonably, we've had a clarion call from the community to do this. We received quite a pushback. We did actually build in the time frame for this kind of delay, but we all know the response we've had from the community. I urge you all, let's just go for it.
I'm happy to support the recommendations, but I do think we should really emphasise that we will work with the school around the redevelopment. And I know previously we'd signalled that we would set up a small group to work with Ministry of Education, because actually it isn't just Girls High, there's a number of other schools that will be redeveloping, expanding, closing, and I do think we need to be proactive in working with the Ministry of Education around the future of our city. But I think, you know, as we go through this process, we need to obviously bear in mind the facts that have been made in the deputation and make sure that staff are working with the school around how we can optimise any possible redevelopment. But I do agree, we need to get on and do our cycleways. They're really important, and I think this one makes a lot of sense.
The recommendation, those in favour please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carried. And I now need to adopt the report as a whole. So that we have dealt with that report. And that's moved Yanni, seconded Jimmy. I'll put that. Those in favour please say aye. Those opposed? Carried.